Hey, for this video, this is part 3. Part 1 and part 2 might be visible in the playlist and you can go back and see them. We're writing the explicit formula for an arithmetic sequence. And here's our sequence. In the last 2 parts, I identified the common difference, which I'm calling the slope, and I've identified the actual explicit formula using the first term of the sequence. Something about this video is, well, one, I want to show you just how to key it all in because the whole entering information and math into a computer can be challenging. Well done if you're surviving this far through all of the computer work that you have to do. Thank you. It's not going away. Now, enter an explicit formula for the sequence. What we have identified in the last part, go back and watch it if you want to, is a formula -7. So I've got the keyboard here. If you're on your tablet, you might have to go find it somewhere in here. I also had to answer these 2 statements there. That's very well done reading them. Click on the keyboard button. Let me go ahead and get in frame so you can see it. Click on the keyboard button, and when you do, up pops somewhere on your screen all of this math type that you have access to. So in the box for writing the explicit formula of the sequence, I'm going to type what we did in part 2. We found the initial value was -7. We found the common difference was, well, -0.5, but we can allow that negative to operate as a subtraction. Negative and subtraction are kind of subtly the same, subtly different, so just be careful how you use them. 0.5 parentheses. I suppose I should put the 0 in front of the decimal, -0.5. I can use these cursor buttons on my tablet to move over to where it is, or on my phone if you're doing this from your phone. Okay. If you're on the Chromebook, just use the mouse pad and click on it. Now, we need to bring up a letter, and the letter has to match the letter that's over here, and that's N. And so because the letter has to match the letter over there that's N, I don't see N on this toolbar, and unless I'm blind, no offense to people who actually are, I'm going to have to click on another button. I found this button down here, it said ABC, so I'm going to use N from that toolbar, and I'm going to go back to math and finish. The rest of the problem had -1. Okay, that's my formula. So with that in place, I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to acknowledge that when you push enter, you got the points. Don't forget to push enter on these problems. I'm staying here at this level. I don't want to see what else the rest of this problem has to go and show you yet, because this part of this video is also about other ways to write the formula that still count. The whole point of an arithmetic sequence and why we teach it to you is to get you to understand a connection from something. Like you saw that pattern pretty quickly. Can you write an equation? If you can see a pattern, can you write an equation? And that's what this is all about. So other ways to write equations are actually to consider that growth rate. Think about this. We know that from 1 to 2, bring in my notes, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, as the sequence is growing one term at a time, the numbers, the terms of the sequence are changing by that initial value, -0.5. So allow that just to be an observation that you're good with. Let's go back a term, right? It's technically outside of what a sequence actually is. Sequences start at 1, but we're trying to make a connection here, right? Go with me on making the connection that 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, etc., the terms of the sequence are growing by -0.5. But what if we go in the other direction and we actually go to 0? Make a big old 0 there. There we go. We go to 0. These terms that are going down, because negative means, descending. These terms that are going down by -0.5 in reverse, play it backwards, you're actually gaining, growing by +0.5 in that direction. So go back 1 space. What should be right there? 1 is -7, 2 is -7.5. What's 0? 7 plus 0.5. That's the 0th number. 0th? Is that really a number? Really a word? Let's make it a word. So the 0th number, if this is the first term, second term, third term, meaning those are the terms, right? Then the 0th number is -6.5. The structure of writing the formula for a sequence looks like this. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus our slope, that's our slope, times n minus 1. But what if you make the 1 different? What if instead of focusing on the 1 and the 1, like the first term and what that first term is, let's focus on the 0th term. We can change this to a 0 and change this to a 0, and everything is okay. It still works. We still show the pattern. We're just starting at a different value. We're starting at negative 6.5. We're not starting with the first position. We're starting with the 0th position. So negative 6.5 plus negative 0.5 times n minus 0, that's also a formula that works. For the length of the video, realizing I'm getting a little bit longer than the other video has been, I want to acknowledge one other thing. I could have started with the second term. I could put a 2 here. Forgive the overlay. I could put a 2 here. It's what these numbers, they have to match. And then that would mean the a sub 2 term is this one. And I would put negative 7.5 plus negative 0.5 times n minus 2. That would be, these are all the same formula because they all are referencing some spot along the sequence, and then the sequence continues from that point. Love the orange, like this sequence right here, that's the best one. I'm gonna finish the video by writing that one up, and then I'm gonna carry on solving this workspace in the next couple of videos. So I have negative 6.5 minus 0.5 n. That one looks a lot like mx plus b, if that sparks your memory. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. Stick around for part 4.